schedule matters today. It's hump day, CMA day. All right, let's go. Going live. 5, 4, and a 3, and a 2. And 1. Whoa! Wednesday already. I love it. Popped up this morning early. Woke up super early, like 18 minutes before my alarm clock early. That's how I know it's going to be a great day. I'm like, okay, that's how we're going to roll today. Okay, I got that. So woke up a little bit early, went downstairs, no snooze, right? No snooze, no phone. Jumped into my planner, my hashtag Rise and Grind planner. And as soon as I hopped into my planner, I open it up and there's a quote from Melissa Burrow. Melissa Burrow's awesome. So there's this quote from Melissa Burrow first thing this morning. And that's what's cool about the Rise and Grind planner is all of the quotes are submitted by actual Rise and Grind members. So I pop it open and I read the quote from Melissa Burrow. It says this: when you let go of fear, become accountable, and make sure your surroundings align with your vision, your future will become limitless. When you let go of fear, become accountable, and make sure your surroundings align with your vision, your future will become limitless. I was like, that's a masterclass right there. That is a masterclass in one sentence. Or yeah, I guess that's one sentence. Masterclass from Melissa Burrow. Think about that for just a second. When you let go of fear, right? She tells you at what point to do this. When you let go of fear and become accountable and make sure your surroundings align with your vision, your future will become limitless. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we're stepping into the miracle mentality, right? I want you to have this limitless future. And so as soon as I read that, I underlined the word limitless. That was the first thing I did. I underlined the word limitless, and I thought, man, I have to remind myself of that every single day. I want you to think about it for just a second. What type of limits are you putting on your life? And where do they come from? We didn't have any limits when we were kids. I got lots of kids. I can tell you, they ain't got no limits. None. Zip. Zero. Even I try to put limits on them. They don't let me. Right? Limitless. What an incredibly powerful word. That's how I want to start our Wednesday. I want you in that limitless mindset. All right? Let's go. This is going to be fun. Good morning. How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning. How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday, also known around here as CMA Day. That's Carter Myers Automotive Group, what I believe is one of the most incredible automobile organizations on the planet. So today is CMA Day. I get to spend some time with them today. I'm always excited to spend time with Carter Myers Automotive Group, and so that's why we call it that. But today is also April 14th. I wrote 15th on the board behind me. I guess I was thinking about taxes. Hold up. Gotta fix that. There we go. I don't want to scare nobody into thinking their taxes are due today. It ain't till tomorrow. My bad. Today is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. I just want to start off today by saying thank you for sharing your mornings with me. You have no idea how excited I get to get up, hop in here, and spend some time with you. Like, it is such a gift to be able to do this thing that I love and to be able to do it in together, right? Like, it'd be really weird if I was so passionate. I had the desire, I had the talent of all to do this thing that I love to do, but you didn't share it with me. Dude, they'd put me in a straitjacket probably, right? So you're keeping me out of the insane asylum. I really appreciate that. Listen, we are going to dive into part 3 of our series, The Miracle Mentality. Now, what we're doing this week is we're breaking down The Miracle Mentality, which is the book that was just released by my friend Tim Story. So we've been highlighting all the different aspects of it and all the takeaways from it. We've been breaking down these words, right? Like the mundane, right? Mundane, lacking interest or excitement. A lot of people live in that. I want you to think about these things as we're talking about it, right? I want you to look at your life, because here's what Tim says. Tim says most people are living in the mundane, lacking interest or excitement, dull, or they're living in the messy, which is confused and difficult to deal with, or they're living in madness, which madness is like extremely foolish behavior, a state of frenzied or chaotic activity. And so what Tim says is most people are living in the mundane, the messy, or the madness. Do you fit any of those categories? And if so, the miracle mentality wants to take you from that and gives you the blueprint on how you get away from that and go to the magical, right? The magical is beautiful or delightful in such a way to seem removed from everyday life, right? Wouldn't that be nice if your life was just delightful to where you're seemingly removed from everyday life because your life is so good? Your life is so good. And see, this is something we all can have, every single one of us. And so in this book, Miracle Mentality, Tim breaks down the blueprint of how do we get from the mundane, the messy, the madness, and how do we get over to the magical, right? Using things like observation. He breaks it down like literally step by step, using things like observation, education, and conversation, right? Using these 3 words, observe, not the words, but the actions behind them. Observation, education, conversation. We can break free of the limiting beliefs that we have and the mindsets that keep us playing small. We can break free of those, right? And we can really step into this life filled with unanticipated miracles. I want you to think about that for just a second. What would that look like for you? What would that look like for you if you were to break free of limiting beliefs? Just completely break free. If you could have your cake and eat it too. My friend Brielle was running a vision board room, and she was talking about it. And one of the people in the vision board room, they said, I want a house that is surrounded by water, but also has lots of land. And they said, I know that doesn't make sense. Like, how can I have a lot of land and at the same time have a lot of water? Like, that really doesn't fit together. And within 3 minutes, Brielle was like, I found it. She said, PTR, pull to refresh your screen. Look at my profile pic. I changed it. And you go to her profile pic, and here's this beautiful house with this beautiful pool, and it's surrounded by a bunch of forest and woods. And just outside of the forest and woods, it was surrounded by water that you could see from the house. It was amazing. It was amazing, right? So what does that look like for you? What limiting beliefs do you have that you can't have your cake and eat it too? I don't know who told you that, because the reality is you can have it all. And you should have it all. You should be living what Tim Story calls an utmost life, not an almost life, but an utmost life. So what would that look like for you? You see, what I love about this book, it's a great book because it makes you think like, oh my gosh, why? Why have I been choosing to live this life that is less than what I've been called to? That is less than what I would, if I were to write it, if I were to script it myself, I'm not living anywhere near that, right? Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like you're living below what's possible for you? So what's great about this book is it's a really fun series. What's great about this week on Rise and Grind, it's a really fun series. It's had me thinking a lot, expanding my mind. I hope it's doing the same for you. And so today we're going to break down the miracle mentality when it comes to parenting. And we're also going to talk about how it applies to love, right? Parenting and then love, which love is love is everything, right? We're not just talking about like relational love. We're talking about love of self, love of God, like love, right? Love, the most powerful emotion in the world. All right. So we're going to dive in. Before we do though, before we go too far, you know what we got to do? We got to do some dancing on this show. We got to get the body in motion on this show. This is also the part of the show that I need you to hit that share button. All right. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share this out. If you're on Instagram, you can share over there too. I would appreciate it. If you're on Clubhouse, go ahead and hit that plus sign. All right. Hit the plus sign in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Invite your friends. I would appreciate that. For those of you that are listening on the podcast or over on YouTube, this is the part where I need you to drop me a comment, drop me a review. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to connect with you. I am not interested in a one-way relationship where I sit here and talk to myself every morning. That's not why we're here. I'm here to connect with you, build relationships with you, network with you, see if I can serve you. Maybe you can serve me. That's what it's all about. All right. It's an exchange of energy. So please drop a comment this morning. Say good morning to me. Let's connect on that level, right? Because listen, I see you, Mike Stevens. Good morning, my man. I see you, Tabitha and Greg Bancroft. All right. So drop me those good mornings. That way I can see you. What's up, Alloy Artist? How are you doing? Great to see you. What's up, Gavin Wall? I see you as well. Real New Money 818. I see you. I love calling out the Instagram name. Dave Sharda. What's up, man? I see you. How you doing, Donna Chambers? Great to see you. Melvin Rodriguez, Emily Galler, Rodney Rock Hatfield, Tracy Shepard. Over on Clubhouse, my man Adrian's in the house this morning. What's up, Angel? How you doing, JT? JT's my man. We got Loretta over here. We got Carla, KB Motive. We got Kiru. We got Debbie and Becky and Karita and Sue and Tom and John and Sonia's up in here. We've got Danielle and Amy and Sylvie. We've also got, who's that? America's Supermom. America's Supermom is in the house. What's up, Sandra? How you doing, Melanie? Great to see you again. Robert Sapphire is here. Great to see you as well. I also see BJ and Becky Lippett. What's up, Becky Lippett? How you doing, Judy Chin? Great profile pic. Love it. I also see Sin and Jackie G. I see Brad Smith and Faye Boyd. I see Wendy Reeves is up in here. My goodness, it's packed this morning. I see Mr. Michael Guthrie. How you doing, Mr. Michael Guthrie? Great to see you. What's up, Jesse Miller? I see Tamika Anderson is up in here. Mr. Barrett. Uh-oh, I lost his last name. There he is. Barrett Trout is up in here this morning. Marilyn Wilkin, Janelle Griego. Oh my gosh. Sean Weatherby's up in here. What's up? Winnick, Wine Nick Chick. Wine Nick Chick. Thanks, fool around the world. I see you as well. And I see a little yoga life is up in here this morning. Sheen Scott. Everybody's here today on hashtag Rise and Grind. Thanks for being here with me this morning. Hey, I want to make sure nobody ever walks out of here empty-handed. So if you haven't done so already, go to themorning5.com and download my free ebook. You're going to love it. It's a great book. It tells you a little bit more about me and my story, but it also breaks down 5 simple steps for you. 5 simple steps to an extraordinary life. Things that you can apply in your life today, this week, this month, this year. So go download it. It's completely free. themorning5.com. Go do that right now while we segue into this segment and you won't miss a thing. All right, let's dive in. Today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind.
Taking time to be creative and let your imagination soar. Man, there's some beautiful things in life when you do that. When life tries to take me down to a whisper, just shout on purpose. Just intentionally shout. You were never created to be almost, nor were you created to be most. To be most means there's a ceiling. If I was to let go a helium balloon today, even though the ceilings are so high, there's a ceiling. But where you're headed, there is no ceiling.
Whoa, let's do this. Listen, kids are naturally born, right? Kids are born with the miracle mentality. They're just born with it. It just comes to them. They don't have to work on it. They don't got to read a book. They don't need a blueprint. They're just born with a miracle mentality. They are limitless through their imagination. They have visions of grandeur. I want you to think about this for just a little bit. When you were a kid, think about some of the things that you used to do, right? Looking back, you're like, my gosh, my parents were nuts for letting me do that. Like, I remember James and I rollerblading to the mall. The mall was miles away. We'd rollerblade to the mall on the busiest street in all of Flagstaff, Route 66. You guys have all heard of this place. We'd be rollerblading down the street to the mall. We'd be going over these hills. We'd be climbing these trees. We'd be doing, completely limitless. It was like, how you going to get there? We didn't think about getting a ride. We weren't concerned about getting an Uber. We weren't concerned about any of that. It was like, look, this is where we want to go. We're going to figure it out. We'll get there somehow, some way. We can do whatever we want, right? Like, that's how it works. So these kids have visions of grandeur. They have self-confidence. How's your self-confidence lately? And they believe at any moment that you can basically flip a switch and be anywhere in the world and be there tomorrow, no matter what you have going on in your life. That's what they believe. In their imagination, they can transform. They can go anywhere at any time. They can take a rocket ship. They can go to the moon. They can cruise out to Mars. I mean, Meredith was, Danelle was talking in Clubhouse yesterday, and Meredith was like, tell her to come to our house. And I said, Meredith, she can't come to our house. She's in Colorado. And Meredith said, so? She can follow your truck. She can follow your truck to get to the house. Well, you know what? She ain't lying. And I see adults that have reached high levels of success. I've seen them be able to snap their fingers, jump on their jet, go wherever they want to go, and be there today. Hey, honey, want to go to the Bahamas? Sure, honey. Sound good to you? Yeah, let's do it. Great. Call the pilot. Jump on the jet. Couple hours later, they're in the Bahamas. That's magic. Seems crazy, seems out of reach, but it happens every single day. Why not you? Why can't that be you? What limits have you put on yourself that is keeping you from an utmost life? This is what Tim's breaking down. Why are you in the mundane? Why are you in the messy? Why are you in the madness when you could be in the magical, right? Pretty cool. So these kids, they see world this way. Like, time and distance are a myth to them. They know what they want and they want it now. And then life comes along, and as Tim says, all of a sudden it knocks the shout out of you. Love it when Tim says that. Life comes along and knocks the shout out of you. And you go back to thinking that you are limited, that you can't have your cake and eat it too, that you can't have your house with land and surrounded by water. And you fall into the mundane, the messy, or the madness. Now, the problem with that, there's a couple problems with that. When we land in the mundane, the messy, and the madness, guess what? Those that we love do too. They come right along with us. your kids, if you are in the mundane, the messy, and the madness, your kids are going to be too. If you are in the mundane, the messy, the madness, your spouse is going to be too. If you are in the mundane, the messy, the madness, the people that you love, that you spend the most time with, are likely going to be in that situation as well. So that's striking, right? Like, I know you. I know your nurturing heart. I know how much you care about the next generation. So knowing that, that's got to strike you like, okay, well, wait a minute. What can we do as a parent to nurture the miracle mentality? I don't want to knock the shot out of my kids. Sometimes I want to knock the out of my kids, but I definitely don't want to knock the shout out of my kids. So in order to make sure that we don't knock the shout out of our kids, it's important that we follow Tim's blueprint on parenting and the miracle mentality. And here's where he starts it. Know your role. You need to know your role as a parent. Your role as a parent is to guide first, right? That's your role. Guide. Your role as a parent is to guard. And your role as a parent is to govern. Guide, guard, govern. Now, if you don't do at least that, your children will suffer. Like, my name's Glenn and I'm your friend. If you don't do at least that, your children will suffer. I want you to, or you are called to, and Tim speaks to, you guiding your children with your infinite wisdom. Okay? I know that you're the smartest, most intelligent, wise human on the planet. So you have a responsibility to guide children with your infinite wisdom. For example, if you need to teach them how to do a TikTok dance, because that's your jam, then you need to go out there and teach them how to do the TikTok dance. If that's your infinite wisdom, then share it with them, okay? Now, I'm playing sort of. I know a lot of you right now that are listening to this, that are watching this, already made a TikTok this morning, or you're already thinking about the TikTok you're about to make this morning. So I'm kind of playing and I'm kind of not. But listen, guide them with your infinite wisdom. Then you need to guard them. You guard them from mental, physical, and spiritual harm. It's a heavy role. It is a heavy role, but it is your role. And sometimes this isn't easy. Sometimes as you're guarding them from mental, physical, and spiritual harm, when you're guarding them from things like the internet, that can be tragic on the mindset of young children. Sometimes when you're guarding them from the things of this earth that they believe they need to have, or they feel like they have a right to, and you're trying to guard them from that, sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes your kids can look at you and say things like, I hate you. Or your kids can look at you and say, you don't love me, you don't understand me. And your heart breaks because you just want to give, but it's not your job to give. Know your role. Your role is to guard. You got to protect their innocence. You got to protect that miracle mentality. Now listen, if you guide them and you guard them, but you don't govern them, you don't discipline them, dude, you are literally doing them a disservice. You are doing them a disservice that is going to impact them as adults later on. Like, it will affect them in life. If you don't do these things, if you don't guide, guard, and govern, it will affect them as adults. It will. There's not a lot of things that you can do as a parent that's really going to affect their destiny. But if you don't guide, guard, and govern, you're setting them up for a long, hard road at this thing called life. Now, listen, yesterday we talked about how crucial it was to have talent, opportunity, and desire in order to live in the magical. And this is also, like, you have to have all three. And what I'm trying to make you understand is this is also true when it comes to parenting. It's guiding, governing, right? Guiding, governing. I just forgot the last G. That's why I got my notes. Guiding, guarding, and governing. You got to have all three. You cannot, if you just do one, doesn't work. You just do 2 out of 3, doesn't work. You have to do all three. Guide, govern, and guard. Guide, govern, and guard. All right? Make sure you're doing all three. Now, listen. Maybe you didn't receive this from your parents. And if you didn't receive that from your parents, I apologize. Tim talks about it in the book. Maybe you didn't receive it. Maybe they didn't guard you the way they were supposed to. Maybe they didn't protect you from a family member they should have protected you from. Maybe that's your experience. Maybe they didn't guide you in the ways of financial security or how to build financial wealth. Maybe they didn't guide you in that way, and I apologize for that they didn't do that for you, right? Maybe they didn't govern you and they didn't teach you things like hard work and discipline. Maybe they didn't do that for you, and I apologize for that. But listen, receive this. I'm sorry, and now it's your turn. It's time for you to change and break the curse. Change and break the curse. Well, just because you didn't receive it doesn't mean you can't give it to your kids, all right? So just start here. Tim breaks it down this way. Start here. He describes it this way: direction, protection, and administration. Direction, protection, and administration. Guide, guard, govern. However you need to remember it. That is your role as a parent, all right? That is your role. So just start there. Then we're going to bring them up with a miracle mentality. To bring them up with a miracle mentality, that means you have to teach them how to receive miracles. For example, my son Joel, he got stung on his hand by a bunch of wasps. He was out on the play set. He swung like to go down the slide. He grabbed the wasp nest and his hand got stung. He got stung 5 times. This is when he was 4 years old. He comes in, his hand's all swollen up, and he looks at me and he's freaking out and he's in panic and he's all those parts. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking in my head, this is an opportunity to guide, right? This is an opportunity to remind him of his limitless power. And so instead of freaking out and saying, oh my gosh, your hand, oh my gosh, son, oh my gosh, and babying him, no, I said, oh, son, thank you. Thank you, son. Thank you for finding that wasp nest. You're a superhero, son. You just saved your brothers and sisters from getting stung by wasps by finding that nest, by taking the stings. Those 5 stings, those were 1 sting for each of your sisters. And imagine how in pain your sisters would have been if you didn't receive that for them. So thank you, son, for being a superhero, for being a protector, for helping us find it so we can take the wasp nest down. We turned it around to where he was the hero, not the victim. And in doing so, my son to this day has this protective nature over his sisters. He's always grabbing spiders and he's tracking down wasp nests, and he loves to be outside and fish and be adventurous. He's not scared of anything, because we planted that miracle mentality in him, that he is a hero, that he is a victor, not a victim. That's our job. Teach them that miracle mentality. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all that stuff, all that magic is there for a reason. And we're getting further and further away from this stuff. These kids are being exposed earlier and earlier and earlier. We're destroying the magic, folks. But that's not our role. Our role is to teach them to receive it, to be intentional about it. And in order to do that, it starts with you. And I know I'm going over on time and we're going to have to carry into tomorrow. This is just too good. We'll talk more about this stuff over in Clubhouse. If you want to join us, Tim Story, the author of Miracle Mentality, he is going to be joining us over there in Clubhouse. He might be there right now. We're going to talk about this further. I apologize for going over. I've gone over every day this week, but this series is just too good. If you haven't got the book yet, go get it. I don't know what you're waiting for. All right. I'm only giving you the highlights. You want the real meat and potatoes? Go get the book, The Miracle Mentality. It's real simple. Become a reader. Leaders are readers. All right. Get the Audible, get the paperback. Dude, step into the miracle. I want you to step into the magic. It almost brings tears to my eyes to know so many people are living in the mundane, the messy, and the madness, right? It almost brings tears to my eyes this morning. So if that's you, I'm begging you, as your friend, get the book. Read it. Apply it. He breaks it down so simply. Like, what a gift, right? I'm sorry, I'm not like pitching. I'm not selling. I don't get a portion of the proceeds. I don't have any interest in Tim's book other than what I know it can do for you. That's it. That's my interest. So go freaking get it. This is so good. All right. So in order to be able to inject the miracle mentality into your kids, and I'll run through this super, super fast, and then we'll just cut it and we'll just go into tomorrow. All right. That's what we're going to have to do. But listen, it's going to start with you. It's going to start with you. You have to make room for magic in your life. You're going to have to make room for play in your life. You're going to have to make room for hobbies and recreation in your life. Listen, you cannot pour magic and a miracle mentality into the next generation. You cannot do that from an empty cup. You are going to have to adventure. You're going to have to experience life. You yourself are going to have to break out of the mundane. My friend Joy said it best. Yeah, yesterday, her and a group of people that are doing 75 hard, and Joy's been saying the reason that she did it is she asked herself this question: when is the last time you did something for the first time? When is the last time you did something for the first time? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself this morning. In order for you to break out of the mundane, you're going to have to do some things that maybe you've never done before, or maybe there are things that you did do before, but you forgot. You forgot that you used to do those things. You've allowed life to knock the shout out of you. And so I'm challenging you this morning to stop living an almost life, like Tim says, and instead decide to live an utmost life and start making some moves today. And just start at home with yourself. Then you'll be able to pour it into the kids and the next generation. Now, we were going to talk about what this looks like, the miracle mentality, when it comes to love and spouse and relationships. We do not have time to do that here on Facebook, on hashtag Rise and Grind. I got to honor your morning routine, so I'm going to let you go. However, we will be jumping over to Clubhouse, and over on Clubhouse, we can dive deeper into all of this. So if you're on Clubhouse, please go join us on Breakfast with Champions. Tim Story, the author of the book, is joining us, and we're going to be able to dive deep. I hope that that little tinge that you feel inside right now, that little thing that's tugging you, that's saying, Glenn is talking to me. Because I know you're feeling it. You're like, yeah, I know, Glenn, but it's so hard, Glenn. Like my kid, like it's too late. It's too late, Glenn. I've already done that for the kid. I can't go back on what I've allowed the kids to do. Or Glenn, it's too late. I'm too late in my life. I can't just all of a sudden step into the utmost. I've already decided that I'm okay over here. I'm okay. Like if that's you, that little tinge, you're feeling that, I'm just imploring you to please take action. Come on. I need you. We need you. Like so badly. You are a child of God. You see, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, and that God made you to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below average. The absolute best version of yourself you can be. And the only way you can do that is you have to step out of the mundane and the messy and the madness, and you have to step into the magical where all limits are off. You remove yourself. You remove the limits that you've been chained down with, and you step into this place. And when you do, it matters. It makes an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers. It makes an impact on me. And so you have to understand that I love you. That's why I tell you this. I don't know if anybody's already told you that yet this morning or not. If not, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. So I need you to step into the miracle mentality so that we can make some magic together. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you want to hang out with me over on Clubhouse, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. You're welcome to meet me over there. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and share this out, tag a friend, hit the plus button, whatever you got to do on Insta or Facebook or wherever you're at. Drop a review if you're listening to the podcast. Drop a comment if you're over on YouTube, wherever you're at. All right, let's connect. Let's connect. We make each other better. All right, we'll do this together. I know it's hard, but we can do this together. All right, I absolutely love you. Go out there, have an incredible day today, and I'll see you tomorrow morning again at 5:30 a.m. on #RiseAndGrind. See ya.